logical volume if you remove. So how to restore that with data without a loss? Okay, so for that here we have a volume group restore command, vgcfg restore. So using that we can restore accidentally remove logical partition LVM, right? So note down. Recover deleted LVM partitions. Recover deleted LVM partitions. Okay, note down that. So Linux keeps the backup copies of LVM configuration Linux keeps the backup copies of LVM configuration in /etc /LVM /LVM archive directory /etc /LVM /archive directory. Okay, right. So note down the command restore. See, have vgcfg restore. So using this we can see the configuration of volume group vgcfg restore. To check the backed up configuration of volume group. To check the backed up configuration of volume group. vgcfg restore space -- list. Then volume group name. Example vg1. See, it shows the last transactions in LVM at this particular volume group, like creating partitions from that volume group. So removing, okay, creating snapshots. So all the transactions. See, while executing, before executing the command like lv create or lv remove or any other transactions, by default it creates a one archive file in this directory, one archive file with this information before going to remove, right? So like, so using this archive file, we can restore last partition. We can restore last partition. See, it keeps all the information, all the transactions. See what it shows here: created before executing vg extend. Before extending volume group, created one archive. If something went wrong, we can restore volume group by using this archive file. Like there are different transactions. So based on the transaction, before going to do that, so it keeps some information related to the existing volume. Run lbs command. Yes, we have a logical volume one, right? LV1. So LV1 not mounted. DB1. What is this? Yes, we mounted, right? SDB1. This is mounted on one. SDC. Logical volume not mounted. Just mount the logical volume. /mount dev vg1 /lv1 /lv1. Okay. Create some stuff then into that. Oh, sorry, CDS. So it contains some, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 3 files it contains, right? So remove logical volume, then we will see how to restore. See, unmount partition, then run lv remove /test vg1 /lv1. See here, instead of removing, for example, logical volume 1 or logical volume 2, if you remove logical volume 1, so how to restore? That is what we are seeing, right? Now run successfully removed. Now run vgcfg restore command. cfg restore -- list volume group name. What it shows here? The file, archive file is created before executing lv remove. So by using this file, we can restore volume group, the last partitions. Right. So before executing, it creates one file after executing lv remove command. Okay. See, it was a logical volume names and whatever the command you executed. See, by using this, we can identify. So what is the file related to that particular partition? Logical partition. Use this file, restore the last partition. So how to restore? We'll see vgcfg restore -f, the file path /etc lvm vg1. Sorry, archive.
It's still breaking, Suresh.
Okay, so enter now. Archive vg1_19. So when you press the tab key after entering some text, so it shows a file name. So when you run this, what will happen? Sorry, we have to specify volume group name also, vg1. File name vgcfg restore space -f, file path, archive file path space volume group name. Execute. Restored volume group vg1. Okay, so after restoring the volume group vg1, it shows right now lv1 we removed. After restoring that, it shows now last partition. See, once you restore, we have to activate the partition. Activate, we have to activate. So to activate, we have a command lv change. Using lv change, we can activate partition. Lv change space -ay /def volume group name lv1. That's it. Okay, so we have to activate recovered partition. To recover partition, to activate lv change the command. And sorry. This is the path. Right. So vgcfg restore, archive file name and volume group name, and this is command to activate a recovered partition to see the information about volume group. Hyphen F LV change. This is for to restore hyphen F option. So here we have to specify input file, right? So to specify the input file name, we have to use hyphen F. List volume group information. That means so the backup configuration information it shows. AGCFG restore space hyphen list, not L, hyphen list. So if you want to deactivate, you can use hyphen AN instead of AY. C means activate, Y yes, activate no, activate no. So if you want to deactivate, and you can use this or hyphen deactivate instead of here. If you want to deactivate any logical partition, just use these options. Fine. So have any questions? No. Activating. That means enabling. The partitioning disable just to be restored, but we are not activated. Once we are activated, then only we can able to use. If you want to deactivate, we can deactivate. That means stop. Start and stop. Yeah. So if you want, again we can activate. Right. So there are different concepts again in LVM. So just go through the manuals LVM. So like LVM migration. So there is another concept in this migration. Say we can move a particular partition if that lost. So there is a command like pv move, lv move. There are different commands in that. So I'll give you one cheat sheet about LVM. Just go through that. Practice the LVM migration. Okay. So up to here we created normal Linux partitions, logical volumes, and swap partition something, right? So after creating partition, so to store data into that required a file system. Without file system, we can't store any data into that. Okay. So here we have various file systems. See ext and xfs, some BATF something. Okay. See in ext there are different versions: ext2, ext3, ext4, and we have another one xfs. So just note down what are the difference between these file systems. Difference between file systems. You know that what is file system. Okay. Now we'll see the difference between ext2, ext3, ext4, and xfs. Okay. Basically ext2, note down. ext2 stands for second extended file system. ext2 is recommended for USB drives, flash drives. basically. So it allows to store a small amount of data, so not larger amount of data, right? See next, note down minimum and maximum individual file size it supports. Minimum and maximum individual file size it supports from 16 GB to 2 TB to TB. Once you make ext2 file system, okay, so on the partition, so in that file system, so we can store up to, I mean, each file size 2 TB, each file size. Now note down overall file system size. Overall ext2 file system size, overall 2 TB to 32 TB, 32 TB. Right? As usual, file system will provide security, some other advantages, right? So rewrite operations. Okay, so the rewrite operations vary different versions. Okay, now ext3, third extended file system, ext3 file system available from Linux kernel 2.4.15. Linux kernel 2.4.15. So ext3 was available from Linux kernel version 2.4.15. So next one, the main advantage of ext3 is that it allows journaling. 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 We'll see what is journaling. Right. See, journaling is a small dedicated area in the file system. So when you write something or when you create something, so before going to write the data into actual file system, it tracks the information. So during that process, sometimes so might be your system goes down suddenly because of power failures. So might be some other issues. Okay. So when power on the machine, so the journaling feature will restore your operating system to previous state, correct state. Okay. Just note down what is journaling. Journaling has a dedicated area in the file system where all the changes are tracked. When the system crashes, the possibility of file system corruption is less. System crashes, the possibility of file system corruption is less because of journaling. So even in Windows also, so when you power off the machine forcefully, your laptop or a desktop, once you power on the machine, so it shows um, restoring something sometimes, right? So during that process, automatically it will restore the corrupted file system blocks. Pardon? Sometimes it fails. In rare cases, it fails. Fails. So 99% it will restore. So 1%. Okay. So pardon? No, there is due to file system. So file system level, right? So everything when you install something or when you create something, everything will be tracked into the file system only. Okay. See, before going to write these changes to directly file system, the journal future will track first. It will store somewhere that information, then it will store the information into the actual file system. So during this process, if something went wrong, automatically we can restore from this future. So no need to run any commands. So once you reboot the machine, automatically file system will be restored, right? Right. Next, note down minimum and maximum individual file size. Minimum and maximum individual file size. 16 GB to 2 TB. Overall file system size ext3 file system 2 TB to 32 TB. Same as ext2. Right. But the difference between ext2 and ext3 is journal future. That is the difference between ext2 and ext3. So it has journal, it does not has it. Okay. ext2, ext3 difference is only one thing, journaling future. ext2 does not have a journaling future. So if you want to make ext2 file system, so how to make mke2fs to make ext2 file system. mke2fs partition name example /dev/sdd1. That means to create ext2 file system. Okay. So to create ext3 file system, ext2 we can make by using mke2fs. mkfs.ext3 sample /dev/sdd2. We can make ext2 file system using mke2fs also. For that we have to specify -j option. J means journal, add journaling feature. It will add mke2fs space -j, the partition name /dev/sdd3. To make ext3 file system. So we can use this command to make ext3 file system, or you can use this with -j option. We can make. J means journal, add journal. Yes, these two for both for ext3 to create ext3 file system. This is for only ext2. So next, note down, we can convert ext2 file system to ext3 file system directly. That means upgradation, file system upgrade on any storage device. If you have a ext2 file system storage device, so if you want to convert that ext2 to ext3, yes, we can convert. So without needing to take backup or restore, directly we can convert. So for that we have a command tune to fs. Tune to fs. So before going to execute that, first we have to unmount the partition. So note down that to convert ext2 to ext3. To convert ext2 to ext3, tune to fs -j, then partition name. See, before going to do this, unmount, umount, then run this and mount it. Example, mount point. It's -j. See, if you want to use this convert ext2 to ext3, just so adding journaling feature to that ext2 file system. So you use this, no need to specify j. See, when you use this command, we have to specify j option. Okay. Next, note down ext4. ext4 stands for fourth extended file system. Fourth extended file system. So ext4 file system was available from Linux kernel 2.6.19. Okay, note down ext4 supports huge individual file size and overall file system size than ext3. It supports huge individual file size and overall file system size than ext3. See, minimum and maximum individual file size 16 GB to 16 TB individual file size. In one file we can store data up to 16 TB. So overall 1 EB. Overall ext4 file system size is 1 EB. Do you know what is EB? EB. TB. You know TB. Terabytes. EB. Exabytes. Not down. Exabytes. Exabyte. EB stands for exabyte. See, 1 EB equals to 1024 PB. Do you know what is PB? Petabyte. 1024 PB. 1 TB equals to 1024 TB, terabytes. One TB equals to, what is this? 1024 GBs, gigabytes. We have to learn, right? Exactly. So 1 GB equals to 4 MB. 1 MB equals to 1024 KB. 1 KB equals to 1024 bytes. 1 byte equals to what? 8 bits. So when you calculate speed, input and output, receiving and transferring data, so will be calculated in bits per second, not MBs, TBs, bits per second. 8 bits per second. Right? So that means what? 1 EB it supports overall file system. So in one storage device, when you make file system, so with the ext4, it's supposed to store data up to 1 EB overall. Individual file size 16 TB we can store. Okay. So when it requires this much individual file size and overall file system size in database servers, not at application servers, not required for applications. Basically, data will be stored into the database, not at application end, right? So when you access applications like ERP, a shopping carts, so everyone will sign up, right, to purchase something, to transact something. So all this information will be stored into the database end. Okay. So the data will be stored into one single file, the name called .sql. So file name is anything .sql file, right? Next, note down the difference between ext3 and ext4. ext3 and ext4. Block allocation. Difference between ext3 and ext4 is block allocation. So ext3 allocates single block. ext4 allocates multiple blocks at a time. So while writing or accessing data, single block. ext3 single block allocation, ext4 so multi-block allocation. And one more difference is fast FSCK. It supports fast FSCK ext4. And few more features have improved the performance and reliability. So when you compare with ext3, okay, and in ext4 we can on or off journal future. In ext4 we can on or off journal future. 10 of journal future, right? Single block allocation, multi-block allocation. Next, note down. Creating ext4 file system. We know that mkfs.ext4, then device name, right? Now how to convert? So ext3 to ext4. So how to mount ext3 file system to ext4? So note down that converting ext3 to ext4. Converting ext3 to ext4. First unmount the partition. You mount, then same command tune to fs. Tune to fs hyphen wow, capital wow, tune to fs hyphen capital wow, extends. There are some parameters we have to specify. Extends comma unit, sorry, underscore bg comma dir index, dir underscore index, then the partition name, which partition you want to convert from ext3 to, that partition name we have to specify here. Hyphen capital O. Got it? So after this, we have to run e2fsck command. So we have to check the file system read errors after done this. So e2fsck hyphen f slash dash slash sd2. Again mount it. Okay, so is there already entry in fs tab ext3? Instead of ext3, replace it with ext4 now. So after converting this, okay, so without converting, directly we can mount ext3 file system as ext4. So the example in fs tab entry, it contains information like, right, fs tab. Okay, the partition name slash dev slash sdd2 example, mount point name example, some backup. Actual file system is ext3, some permissions, right? So without converting like this, first unmounting, then executing this command, after that, so checking read errors, again mounting, so then modifying the ext3 to ext4 here. So without executing this, directly we can mount ext3 file system partition on ext4. So just replace it with ext4. That's it. So without data loss, so we can read ext3 partition. Yes, this one. Got it? See, okay. So how to check the server file system? So which file system we are using? How to check? So already we discussed few commands. How to check? Mount, yes, using mount. Then is there another command? Okay, so device name we can find out. So other than this mount, except mount. So we have a df, right? Df space hyphen t small capital T small h. What it shows? File system type, right? T option. The file system on existing storage partition. We can see that. So there is another command like file. If you want to note down. File. Find server file system or system file system type. Find server file system or system file system type. System file system type. We know mount and df. So there is another command file. File space hyphen s capital L. The device name /dev /sdd1 example. File command also we discussed. So with the help of file, we can see the file system type as well as file type. File type also. We discussed in the, so after creating files, so touch and cat. So when you run with file, this file name, what it shows? File type. Whether the file is an executable file or ASCII text. So like file system information. File system information, or directly you can specify directory like hyphen s lil shows or not sdb1 linux ext4 file system data. So it shows like a regular file, not pdf. It shows a text file. See, if that file is executable, well, then it shows binary file. See, file /us or bin/ls. What it shows? Executable. ls is a binary file, right? Executable file. Like when you create a script, if you specify the script name, it shows script file or executable file. Okay, so now down next xfs file. See, when you compare with ext 2, 3, 4, so it gives high performance. So some additional security features are available in this. But the thing is, we can't reduce XFS file system. XFS file system we can't reduce. Only we can grow. ext type we can grow and reduce file system. We'll see. Note down overall file system size and individual file system size. XFS supports maximum file system size of 8 EB. Sorry, not 8 EB, 18 EB. 18. 18 EB. XFS supports maximum file system size 18 EB for 64-bit file system. For 64-bit file system. File system. So individual file size also we can store 16 EB. There is no difference overall and individual. Individual file size 16 TB to 16 EB. Sorry, that means in 32-bit. This is for up to it's supposed. If you have a 64-bit file system operating system, it supports 18 EB overall size, 32-bit 16 EB. So not require any individual, just remember this, right? XFS. So you have to make XFS file system. So mkfs dot xfs //sdt45 you can start. See, XFS stands for extension of the extent file system. Extension of the extent file system. So we can convert ext 234 to XFS. This is a different file system, and ext is a different file system. Let's note down the unique features of XFS. XFS has a unique features that make it stand among the file system crowd. It stand out among the file system crowd. That means other than the remaining file systems, such as scalable or parallel IO, such as scalable parallel IO. That means input output operations, IO operations. Okay. Journaling for meta operations. Comma, online defragmentation. Delayed allocation of performance. Delayed allocation for performance. Okay, comma, suspend or resume, and much more. Right. right? See, when you compare with other file systems, XFS gives high performance and scalability. High performance and scalability, right? So these are all the differences: ext2, ext3, ext4, and XFS. So now we'll see how to recover lost root password. If you forget root password, so how to recover? We'll see now. So if you forget root password, reboot the machine. You can execute init6 or reboot command to reboot. Reboot. Edit grub menu. This is grub menu. Here we have to enter E. Once you enter, you'll get a grub menu. It means boot menu. See, then search for Linux 16 line. Search for Linux 16. This one. Search for Linux 16. Then search for in that line. So replace it with read only to read write. Read write. Then search for RHGB and quite keywords. They will be found in the same line. So remove these two lines. That means so RGB quite, RHGB and quite. Instead of RO, write RW. That means read only to read write. So then instead of replace RHGB in quite with init equals to bin/bash. Just type that init. What is init? So giving instructions to init process. Init is the very first process, right? Systemd init at user space. So execute before going to load the actual operating system. Okay, so here we are specifying bash. Execute the bash at single user mode. Bash at single user mode. Once you specify like this, run Control X to go to maintenance mode. Control X after specifying the parameters. Execute ctrl X. Control X. Then what is this mode? Maintenance mode, single user mode. If you want to see that, run level. Okay, sorry, not CTY, system CTL. Choose default. Okay, so it won't show here. We are executing, but currently we are at maintenance mode. Once you enter the values there, so when you execute Control X, that's it. Okay, so you are entering into this single user mode now. Here we have to enter password command. This simple password, enter. So here it is asking for new password. Enter something. So after done this, so we have to relabel SELinux. We have to relabel SELinux. So for that, create a auto relabel file under root partition. Dot auto relabel. That's it. Then execute init slash sbin slash init. That's it. After this, she'll get a maintenance mode. Then run here password command, change root user password, relabel sc linux. So for that, create touch the file under root relabel. Then execute init slash sbin slash init. Exe is the command to execute. That's it. See, reboot the machine, edit boot menu, reboot, edit boot menu. That means grub menu. So for that, execute E command. Then it shows the boot menu information. Search for Linux 16 line. Linux 16 line. In that line, modify RO to RW and RHGB and quite to init equals to bin slash dash. Then to continue, control X, CTRL plus X. Once you enter this, you will be enter into the single user mode. Okay. So then enter password command. Change password. And then create sc linux auto relabel file. Search slash auto relabel. Then execute init. Exe is the command to execute. sbin slash init. Fine. This is how to recover forget root password. See, if someone knows how to restore, how to recover root password, anyone can restore, right? Recover, right? If they have a physical access. Is there any security for your physical server? No. So I'm the guy, I'm working as an administrator in one organization. So there is another guy like DBA, database administrator. He knows so how to recover root password. Or there is another guy like a developer. So he knows how to restore, how to recover a password. So if they have a physical access to your server, they can restore. So for that, we have to protect the grub. So once you enter the grub password, then only they can able to enter into the single user mode to troubleshoot something like to recover password, to recover corrupted MBR, to recover corrupted grub also. So for that we have to create a grub password. Grub. So how to set grub password? Try yourself. Grub password. How to put grub password and how to recover. I mean recover in the sense last. If you forget grub password, grub password recovery.
So easily can do it the VM.
Pardon?
VM you can do it.
Then VM also. In physical machine as well as in VM also can do this. Grub. So try in both environments. It's very simple in RHEL 6 and 5. But little bit confusion in 7. Okay, try to understand and set the password. Nothing is there. So there is a simple command to generate a grub password. Okay, there is a method. Once you generate a password, just copy this password into one file. The grub.cfg we have, right? Grub.configuration file, grub. See, in 6 and 5 we have to specify that password information in grub.configuration file. See, grub.configuration file, it contains bootloader information, right? Primary bootloader, secondary bootloader information. So very first class we discussed this. So after installation, in booting process, okay, so MBR executes grub. See how it will execute. So depends on the configuration file, bootloader information. So I have a grub.cfg file under boot directory. Right. /boot/grub2 grub.cfg. It contains your operating system information as well as the bootloader information. See, so in 6 the name is grub.conf, conf, 5 in 5 also. So here grub.cfg. So let's /boot grub2 contains the same information. So this is right. This is what we modified during the boot time to recover root password. Linux 16 line. So we replaced RHGB quite with init equals to something, right? And here read only. It contains the same information, bootloader information. So based on this file only, MBR executes. Which one is the primary bootloader? I mean, when you install multiple operating systems on same machine, so it contains the all operating systems bootloader information. So which one is the primary bootloader? When power on the machine, by default operating system will be loaded. So if you want to choose another operating system at boot menu, we have to choose that. Once you restart the machine, you'll get a grub menu, boot menu. It shows 2 lines, right? Kernel. So there it shows if you have any another operating system, this name we can choose from there.
In grub password, others can also recover it.
No. If they know that, then so there is a big process to restore. So we require installation media. So we have to enter through installation media. That's called emergency mode. Emergency mode. So for that, put BIOS password. Hardware. They won't boot up, right? Once you enter the password, then only your machine will be powered on. These are all security hardening things in Linux. So to configure a secure server, so we have to follow this checklist. See, as an administrator, so if you want to build a new server, say before going to install operating system, so first we have to disable some hardware things and put a BIOS password for the server, then install. After installation, put grub password, okay, to secure. So then configure network things. So, and we have to enable firewalls. So here we have a firewall D for IP tables, okay, packet filtering to filter the packets. And there is another feature like SC Linux, security enhanced Linux, enable. And there is another concept like TCP wrappers. So using this, we can deny or allow network services. That means we can allow authorized users to access, unauthorized users to deny. We can allow authorized host machines to access our machine, unauthorized hosts we can deny. So we can allow a specific host machine to access, rest of the world we can deny. So we can allow specific network devices to connect our machine, the rest of the world we can deny. There are different parameters. So we'll see that software servers. So how to enable all these things. See, along with this, we have to search for the open ports information. So open ports, and is there any unwanted services running under operating system? So stop the services. And is there any other services related packages installed? If that service is not required, so remove that packages. So after done all these things, we have to update the machine for security patches. Is there any updates are available? We have to update. Then we have to start the installation, actual configuration. Like if you want to configure the machine as a web server, then install web server related packages and do configuration. Or if you want to configure this machine as a database server, so install the database server related packages and do the configuration. Okay, fine. So tomorrow we'll see a RAID. Tomorrow same time.